I'm shutting my eBay store down right now.
Onefootflipper.
I'm out.
Oh, hi, Paige here, the 1 Foot Flipper. How's it going, everybody? I'm doing just fine, although, is anybody else just tired of video titles and thumbnails where their favorite YouTube personality pretends to be quitting? They pretend that the business isn't working anymore. I mean, there are like 3 of those things on my feed right now. But we always fall for it, don't we? Even though we know it's not true. I mean, Craig was bragging about $100,000 a month last week, 3 videos ago. Do you think he's quitting this week? I don't think so. Peter the Pineapple Eater, I mean, he has 7 convictions for mopery and is missing an arm. What else do you think he's going to do other than reselling? And Jimmy the Dolphin Flipper, he makes so much money on social media that he can afford to buy everything at garage sales, sell it all on live shows, and still end up with a 6-figure income. You know what? I'm sure that I've even pulled the stunt at some point. Now, there are plenty of real reasons to quit, both reselling and YouTube, but they generally aren't going to apply to those at the top of their game. And we'll return to this in a bit later.
It's over? You're out? Oh my God, the Queen is dead.
Yes, please quit. More sales for me, the Green Monster.
Now, as you may have noticed, I basically, for the most part, stopped doing what sold's video a while back because I realized that it was really making my workflow difficult because I have to go up and down the stairs on my butt, and most of the stock is downstairs, but some is upstairs, and made it hard to just, if I got one sale, to go back and pack that one more item. But I thought maybe we'll do a what did I buy? Do a little bit of what did I buy? And I'll toss some comps up on the screen for estimated values. All right, first let's look at some hats. Last time I went out, buddy Peter helped me with hats. He actually is the one who picked all these hats. Start off with, we've got location hats. These are usually, location hats are usually 10 bucks or less, and I try not to have more than one hat for any given location. This one will probably be more. Party Cove is a St. Louis area local thing, and this is a vintage hat with a rope. It's on a very old tag. I think it's still import, but that'll probably be more like a $15 or $20 hat, but it'll take a long time to sell. Got a stack of new blanks at the bins. At bins prices, I will buy stacks of new blanks all day long. I can either get patches and make these hats into something, or I can just unload the blanks, you know, like on eBay. There's a lot of blanks, or District Marketplace, something like that. Nike golf visors. They're usually about 8 bucks all day long. Good enough because it's an easy list, easy ship. Alcohol hats are usually sellable in some way. Guinness, this one, not an alcohol hat, a band. Band hats always sell, and do low girls. Now your light beers, not as desirable as non-light beers, but this one had a rainbow logo, so I thought that had something going for it. This got some dust and stuff on it. I got to clean that off.
Hey, I have your car towed all the way to your house, and all you got for me is light beer?
John Deere can always sell. This one goes to a specific dealership, which makes it a little bit better. Corona, more alcohol. UPS hats always sell. You can get some real money if you get a rare UPS hat of a style that doesn't tend to show up very often. Crown Royale for those who really enjoy their day drinking. I don't know what Rumpelmans is, but it sounds naughty, so we went ahead and went with that. Decent looking sports hats are usually worth getting. Roll Tide. Cabela's. I'll keep a Cabela's hat or 2 in stock at any given time because they'll sell. There was no particular comp for this. Williamsburg placemats, made in New Zealand, but these are really thick, like wooden, high quality placemats. At Ben's price, I figure I will make some money on this. There are no particular comps that I saw for this when I looked at it, but maybe it'll be something I can put up on the screen. I buy posters at the bins sight unseen. If I see this rolled up in the bins, I just get it. It is cheaper to purchase this at Ben's price than it is to unroll it and even see what it is. So let's see what we got right now. Hope it's nothing inappropriate. Alright, we got, okay, modern decorative stuff, a half black and white, half colorized photo. And Ruth Orkin, an American Girl, and some time or another. I'm sure those will both sell eventually. I like posters. They're easy to store lots of. And if they get down to like 0 value, I can just start sticking them together and do a lot. Bag of buttons and pins that I found at the bin. I haven't looked any of this up yet, but I bet this little bag that cost me less than $2 will probably be good for about 50 bucks. I don't know what these are actually called. My daughter called her snorkel when she was little. I know these are sellable, so I picked it up. I like big soda mugs. Most of the gas stations do not offer sizes this big anymore. Of the big ones that 64 ounces and above that sit real nice on your truck seat next to you. So a lot of the contractors and other guys who drive around all day, they want these big mugs. And a lot of times they're wanting to replace the exact one they had before. Or in the case of this one doesn't look like one that somebody would be really attached to because it's a little too blingy for your average contractor. But it's Cardinals and Coke. Somebody will be interested in it for sure. Dancing Santa. This is probably Jimmy. I'll put the comp up and test it. Maybe I'll show it working later in the video after I get some batteries in it. Remember, get that Christmas stuff listed on time. Nighthawk cable modem. Don't blindly grab your cable modems. You should look them up at the sale or the bins, because if it's too old, then there's no value to it anymore because it's too slow. Those 1.5 megabits cable modems from 25 years ago, nobody wants that anymore because they've got 100 plus megabit service now, and those modems aren't any good. This is an old torque wrench. You know those guys that you're trying to be handy and it says, and then torque the bolt down to 30 foot-pounds, but you never do that because you don't have the torque wrench? This is what you need to do that. If this one isn't sellable, then I will just keep it. Because I don't think I actually have a torque wrench. This here is an example why I treat all the employees in my local bins like royalty. If you ever go with me to the bins, you'll notice the first thing I do, the man holding the door open, or lady, it's usually a man holding the door open, I say, "Good morning, sir, it's always nice to see you." I am very nice and polite to all the cashiers and everyone else. One, because I try to be a nice person, but secondly, when it comes to heavy items like this, I was able to get them to put a price tag on this of $5 as opposed to the $20+ that this this 10 plus pound Commodore 1541 disk drive weighs. So that's going to vastly increase my profit on it. If I had to pay full price on that untested, I'm not actually sure if it would be worth it. If it was untested, that would probably only sell for like 30 bucks. Well, tested, it's going to probably sell for ding ding ding, or untested, since I only paid $5 for it, I could sell it for the 30 or whatever the ding ding on the screen is. Or if I can get one of my buddies who's got a Commodore to test it, buddies, you watching this? You got a Commodore? Then I could get this much for it.
I'm out the game. I quit.
I'm out. Hey, before I get into this next part, will you check that down there and see if you're subscribed to the channel? Over half my viewers are not subscribed, and watching that number go up is the main reason I do all this. Money still isn't worth it. Now let's look at some real reasons to quit reselling. Number one, now I see a lot of this. The person had a relatively high-paying day job in the first place, and they find it impossible to replace that income with reselling. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If you are upper middle class already, you're going to find it difficult to replace that day job with reselling, particularly once you account for losing all of those benefits. The more people you got to pay for insurance for on your own, the worse it's going to be. So all of you CPAs, you experienced teachers in the high-income school district, I know you inner city and rural teachers don't make anything, but the teachers in my school districts, they make plenty. Anybody with a six-figure job, you're going to have to be in that top 10% of resellers to even have a chance to replace that income with reselling. That's just how it is. I've always actually felt that reselling was best for grown adults who've made it relatively far into adulthood without ever establishing a decent career. You know, like this guy. The fact is that if you haven't started climbing what is left of the career ladder by a certain age, then you're probably never going to. That's not meant to be some sort of insult. Definitely applied to me as well. I don't have a college degree. And professionally, I got as far as acting as an assistant general manager in a hotel, but having a title that mismatched the position. And having no further chance in my existing position, or at least to move up from it, or moving on elsewhere because of that title mismatch. I could never even get to the part where I explained that my title was chief engineer, which is maintenance, but that I spent 80% of my time in a suit running hotel operations, as I could never get that interview in the first place. I could only get interviews for entry-level building maintenance positions because, mind you, that lead building maintenance position, the chief one, sort of job somebody gets into and then does until they die because there's nowhere else to go from there. Oh, sure, they might move from a hotel to an apartment complex, but either way, not a lot of turnover in those positions at all. But you know what? It's not difficult to replace the income of a cashier with reselling. You driving a taxi? You'd probably do better reselling. You don't even have to be good at it if that's what you're looking to replace. If you're good at it, you might easily double or triple your income if you're great at it. Number 2, simply unable to handle the reselling lifestyle. Some people, they can make the money just fine, but they can't manage their money well enough to handle the fact that their income is going to vary wildly from one month to the next. You might have a month where you sourced a lot, you had a lot of expenses, but your sales were bad, and you actually lost money for the month. Meanwhile, later on in the year, you might have a great month and bring home $8,000 for the month in profit. Some people are capable of managing that. And some people aren't. The people who aren't, they won't save money from the good months. They won't be able to pay their bills in the bad months. If you're one of those people who never has more than a whole paycheck's worth of money in the bank at any given time and never has, then that probably applies to you. And other people cannot handle the stress of what can be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week job, and they let it consume them. And they waste their leisure hours checking and rechecking things when they could just be ignoring them until the next day. And that's something that a lot of people actually need to work on. Once you're done for the day, be done. Stop checking. Stop checking for messages on eBay and Poshmark. Stop looking to see if anything's sold. Just wait, act like it's a normal business, and wait until the next day because there's no one at work right now. Number 3, you can just be bad at it. Some people just don't have the right sort of skill set or instincts to make reselling work as a business, and they're not able to pick them up even after years of practice. And strangely enough, this number 3, you're bad at it, actually does describe the majority of long-term eBay hobby resellers and a lot of the older full-timers who they're really more of the hobby class, but they just are retired so they don't have jobs. Being good at reselling requires attention to detail, record keeping, and a basic level of self-motivation. See, some people, they're only interested in reselling one narrow category, even if they can't make it work, and that they will throw all their effort into that category in which they can't make work. Other people can't do the mental math well enough to figure out what is worth it and what isn't. And that's something that can get all of us every once in a while, especially like if you're at that Goodwill bins and you pick something up and you think it's 2 pounds, but it's really 4.8 pounds, which there's a difference between paying $4 for the item and $10 for the item, which can be the difference between making it worth it and making it not. Those placemats I showed you earlier in the video, when I picked those up, I'm like, yep, that's 2 pounds. No, they were nearly 5 pounds. So they're not going to be as good as what I thought, and who knows, they may never sell, I may lose money on them. While some people, a lot of people, they're unable to let anything go. You know, once they got this pair of glasses here in their store, they will never, ever let them go. They will let them sit and rot in their store for years until eventually they end up with storage shelf after storage shelf filled up with 100% mistakes that they're unwilling to part with, just sure that they're going to sell it someday. Now, Paige, you were talking about YouTubers quitting their... yeah, it's such a tired issue, isn't it? YouTubers quitting their YouTube reselling channels. There's three main reasons to that, too. Money. It's the number one reason. A lot of people are doing their channel as part of a combined business, or if they become successful, it eventually becomes a combined business, but they come to the realization that the social media hours are paying a tiny fraction of what the actual reselling hours are paying. This can happen to people at pretty high levels. I know for sure that I would make more money if I dropped the social media entirely, and my social media income it has now crept into the 5-figure annual territory, and it still isn't worth it from a financial perspective, and I think about quitting every single month. Just let you know. Number 2, lack of satisfaction. Maybe your channel just refuses to take off. No matter what you do, and making videos that only a few dozen people watch all the way through is gonna stop being satisfying to some people eventually. Or it could be the other way around. The stress of being basically a public figure when you're at the top of the game, you know, there's 6-digit sub channels. It can be equally daunting. And you can both feel that you're never getting any time off and that you're letting your fans down because you can't respond to everything anymore. And don't think that the guys at the top just get a few more questions and reach outs than you. It's crazy. See, viewers new to the reselling world are likely to discover the largest channels first. These new fans / new resellers are also the ones most likely to ask questions, to send messages on Instagram, and otherwise try to reach out to their favorite personality. Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, he might only have 7 times as many subs as I do, but he probably gets 100 times as many messages as I do. People, they find Kevin in their first week of exploring the space. They don't usually find me until much later. Your third one, your personal life or your need for secrecy. Some people, they'll get popular on YouTube only to realize that their spouse, their children, their family, they hate the entire thing. They hate their being mentioned and talked about. They hate the people who are seeing their house or knowing their business. Or some people, they get going on YouTube and they realize that they don't want their neighbors, distant relatives, or ancient creditors to see how much money they are making now. And finally, more than one channel have stopped making videos and hidden or deleted all their old ones because they were cheating some sort of government's benefits system or program in some way, and the videos made it extremely obvious. You kind of got to hear those things through the grapevine. It's not like they make one last video saying, shutting the channel down because my social worker saw it and realized that I made $80,000 a year and not 15. Because reselling is one of those areas that is extremely easy to cheat your taxes on. I would never suggest that any of you do that. I don't cheat my taxes. I don't think any of you should either, but it is an area that is extremely easy to do so on. Thus, many people do it. Hey, thanks for making it all the way to the end. If you know anybody thinking about quitting, tell them about this channel.
Nope.
I quit.
See, that's One Foot Flipper's nonsense video.
See that man over there? We arrested him for mopery.
What's mopery?
Mopery is exposing yourself to a blind person.